Hello and welcome. This is Mr. Andrews here as we are looking to read together our one book for our one school this year. This year we're going to be looking at the adventures of Zoey and Sassafras, Dragons and Marshmallows. Each night I will be posting a video as we read through our book and going on these fun adventures together.
Chapter 5. The Barn. Mom opened the door, and we stepped inside. The barn felt different. Magical. It was like I'd never seen it before. Now I knew it held secrets. These cabinets hold the medical supplies I've gathered over the years, Mom said. And over here are some books that you might find helpful. There aren't any books about magical animals, but you'll find that magical creatures and everyday animals are often similar. Once I had a stick-winged fox, and it helped to read about both birds and foxes. Sometimes you'll need to run an experiment to figure out what the animal needs or what will work best. You can look through my old science journals over there to get a better idea of what I'm talking about. My heart beat faster. As soon as she was done with the tour, I was heading straight for those journals. My breath caught. There'd be more magical photos in there. I could hardly wait to see them. I interrupted her. So if I hear the bell, I run out here, and the animals will be at the back door? And I bring it inside and try to figure out what's wrong? Mom nodded. Some of the animals can speak, like Pip, but most can't. Remember, you can use the books and my old journals to help you. This must seem like a lot of responsibility, but I know you'll do your best. Do you have any questions? My mind was spinning, but I shook my head no. If Mom believed I could handle this, I could. I hoped. And if things got too tricky, I could ask Dad to help. Wait a minute. Mom hadn't mentioned Dad at all. That was definitely strange. What about Dad? Can't he help me? Your father can't see any of the magical animals, unless you saw Pip in that photo. I thought I was the only human who could see them. Mom shook her head sadly. I tried to introduce Pip to your dad once, but he couldn't see or hear him. Whoa, so this is definitely all up to me. Mom kissed me on the head. I've got to go, but I'll see you in a week. I'll let Dad know you're out of here before I leave. Wait, I piped up. If the magical creatures come, do I get to take its picture? I was pretty sure that one of the best parts of this whole thing was going to be collecting magic photos. Mom laughed and opened one of the desk drawers. Here's my camera. You're free to use it. But since it's instant film, you can't take too many photos, or it'll get really expensive. Only take one of each animal. Okay? Oh, and here. She dug around the bottom of the drawer. A brand new science journal, just for you. I wrapped my arms around my mom and gave her a big squeeze. I was glad to have the stuff in all the cabinets and the drawers and Mom's old science journals to distract me. It made saying goodbye much easier. I set my thinking goggles on the barn desk and grabbed a pile of science notebooks. I spent the next few hours with Sassafras curled up on my lap as I flipped through all of them. The photos were so incredible. I flipped to a page where a creature that looked like a flower. I leaned in for a closer look, and the scent of roses filled my nose. A few pages later, I found a photo of something fluffy and blue, and it was shaped like a snake. I brushed my fingers over the photo and could feel its soft feathers. This was going to be so much fun. I could hardly wait to see what creatures I'd get to meet first. Chapter 6. The doorbell rings. The next day, I stayed right by my mom's office, listening. Nothing happened. The day after was the same, not a peep from the bell. But on the 5th day, there I was, reading on the couch, when, at long last, I heard the magical tinkling sound. I popped up so fast, I catapulted Sassafras out of my lap. He went flying through the air and let out a yelp, but landed on his feet. Sassafras gave me a grumpy stare, but then his ears turned towards the bell. He heard it too. We both darted for the barn. We couldn't wait to see who needed our help. At the back door of the barn, I paused to listen. It was completely silent, Except for the pounding of my heart, I grinned down at Sassafras. "Ready, kitty?" He meowed and pawed at the door. I took that as a yes. I slowly opened the door to find a small, green, scaly animal curled up in a tight ball. I heard a rustling in the bushes and glanced up in time to see a shimmery blue tail disappear into the forest. Maybe another animal had brought this one here for help. "Hello?" I called out, but nothing answered me, and the mysterious blue animal didn't come back. I gently reached down to touch the smooth green back of the little creature curled up at my feet. As I did, a tiny head peeped up. "Oh," I whispered, "you are so cute." Two sad eyes stared up at me. "Don't worry, little guy. We'll make you feel better." I scooped him into my arms. Sassafras anxiously wove between my legs as I carried the animal into the barn. I set him down on a wood table. "You're kind of heavy for such a little thing." I gave him one more gentle pet. He slowly stretched, and two little wings and a long tail popped out. He was a dragon, and he was so tiny. He just had to be a baby. A baby dragon in my barn? "Hey, little guy, what's wrong? I don't see any scrapes or cuts, but you wouldn't be at the barn if you didn't need help." He seemed pretty weak. After looking around, he dropped his head down to the table and just lay there. Sassafras hopped onto the table and gave the dragon a good sniff. The baby dragon's head popped up, and he let out a cough. A spark flew out. Sassafras shot up in the air and landed on the ground, with all his fur standing on end. Yikes! I needed to move this guy. Before he coughed again. I need to find a place to keep you where you won't catch on fire. I looked around the barn. I see wood, fabric, and hay. All burn easily. Bingo! Let's put you in this pen with a dirt floor. If you cough again, the dirt won't catch fire. Phew! Tucking the baby under my arm, I quickly moved him to the pen. Sassafras hung back and watched us from outside the pen. My kitty was no longer so sure he wanted to cozy up with our new friend.
Thank you for going on this adventure with me as we work through our book, Zoey and Sassafras, Dragons and Marshmallows. We'll see you next time.